السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وما أرسلناك إلا رحمة للعالمين. صدق الله العظيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Respected scholars, elders, and fellow students, as a student here, I just want to share some reflections and reminders for myself and then also to my fellow peers. I think as we continuously learn about the life of the Prophet, I don't think we fully understand the magnitude of the impact that our Prophet ﷺ had on his community. So as the Quran describes him, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ, describes him as mercy to the whole world. And this very rahmah, the compassion, the grace, and the mercy began at the very moment he came into this world. During his birth, the world dazzled. Falling stars in the skies. During his early life, wherever he went, the sustenance only increased. And then during his business trips, every trip he took, it was always filled with barakah and prosperity. For example, there's a famous trip he took during his business trip to Basra. There was a monk that attested to his prophethood and to his rahmah by saying, when you were walking towards me, towards my direction, I did not see a single tree and a stone except that it was prostrating toward you. And that can only go to show how much rahmah and how much impact the world was having on him and him having on the world as well. But for context, I think we ought to understand the context of that time. So he came into a society that was plagued with the worst of social norms, the worst of social teachings, and the worst of social practices, and he transformed it. An example of this is during his early adulthood, at a time where there was no sense of security in Mecca in terms of your life, your property, your dignity, especially for folks that were coming from the outside. He established and he helped architect a pact. It was called Hilf al-Fudul. And the goal of the pact was for the tribes in Mecca to come together to establish justice and support the oppressed communities and oppressed people that come into Mecca as foreigners. And what it goes to show you that even before he received revelation, he was also revered as the trusted one, as the just one, and as the one with the best character by his community, even prior to him revealing revelation. But even after he received revelation, transformed his society, conquered Mecca, and was the best leader of the best nation in society, he was yet merciful. He was merciful to his companions, he was merciful to his enemies, he was merciful to everything in his surroundings, even the animals and the plants. And what it goes to show you is that the best of mankind spent his entire life showing mercy and rahmah to the world around him. So now the question is, what do we take away from this? Like, what is our takeaway as individuals living in this society? So I think as we're living in this society, navigating the different careers and studies in a secular world, our goal should be to understand the kindness and the compassion that our beloved Prophet Muhammad ﷺ showed to his community and strive to replicate it in our lives as we go into the non-secular world. Because at the end of the day, the folks in this community, the folks in the secular community do not get to see and understand the Quran or the Sunnah. They only get to understand Islam and Muslims through interactions with us. So my ask to you all, and a reminder to myself, is as we navigate through our studies and our careers in secular institutions, let our characters, our interactions, and our engagements reflect the just actions and the extraordinary attributes of our beloved Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. May Allah allow us to exemplify the teachings of our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. May Allah grant us the tawfiq to adorn our lives by following the character of our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. And may Allah allow us to sit in gatherings like this to unite us all together back in Jannah in the presence of our beloved Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Ameen. Wa akhiru da'wana. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.